As a teacher, I write on the board every single day. Students ask me sometimes, where did you learn to write so neatly? I tell them I took a class. This is of course a joke. I never had to take a class in handwriting. I've just always liked to write, whether it was on whiteboards or blackboards or anything I could get my hands on. I like to write and draw. Paper and copy paper will do, any kind of paper will do, but the best thing to do is to actually use the smoothest paper. You will need a ruler, an eraser, a good sharpened pencil, and then varying degrees of ink pens. And then if you want to use color, you will need varying colors of, or varying variations of colors. So I have a 2, a 3, and a 4 to create an ombre effect. What you want to do is you're going to want to create a base line, a top line, and a middle line. Mostly how you would have written when you were learning how to handwrite when you were in 1st or 2nd grade. And a lot of people will, measure this so that it's perfect, but I just kind of eyeball it. And that's, that's up to you. And obviously sometimes when you eyeball it, it doesn't come out quite right, but that's okay. That's what makes it unique and one of a kind. Okay, so you can see that it's not exactly perfect. I've got a bigger space here or smaller space here than here, but that's all right. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to actually write my name, and I'm going to use this as my top line, and this is my bottom line. Okay, and I'm going to write it going across, but I'm going to write it in cursive. Okay, now what you want to do is you want to just write your last name, but don't connect your letters. You don't want to connect them yet because you want to make sure you give yourself enough space. See how my A is kind of getting squished? If I would have written it all out, it would have been more difficult. So now I know I can space it over more this way. So I can move my paper over because I have more space here. So I'm going to start my S here, and then I'm going to move everything over. And I know that's super hard to read, which is why we do it in pencil. Okay, so now, and actually before I do that, I'm going to do the outline of this part. So I'm going to use my Sharpie to do the outline of this. Remember, I had my E. I'm going to connect them here. All right, so that is my last name. Now I'm going to do what is called the downstroke, and now I can actually erase all of the pencil markings, and whether it's for the first one that I did that wasn't quite right, or whether it is the lines that I used as my baseline or the top line, I'm going to go ahead and erase those. Okay. All right, so now what I want to do is I want to give it that thickness that it would have on a calligraphy line. I want to draw another line on what's called the downstroke. So I'm going to do that in pencil, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to follow how I would write this. So right now I'm not going down, but here my pencil starts going down, and what you want is you want to put the double line on the downstroke on the left-hand side of the letter. So here's a downstroke, and I'm just going to follow the same letter until I start going to an upstroke. So I'm going to leave that, but I am going to connect that. Now this V goes on a downstroke, upstroke, start going down, but now comes back up, and it starts going down on the left-hand side. I'm going to go up, 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 on the outside, down, up, 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 down. I'm up, 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 and down, up in here. On the outside, I'm going down, up, and down again. Okay, so now if I fill that in, I'm going to have the outside part of my downstroke. And what that's going to do is it's going to create the effect of the calligraphy that I want. I'm going to fill that in like that. All right, so it doesn't look completely done yet. So there's lots of things you can do to vary this. You can just color this in solid black. And as I look at this, I think, you know what, these narrow parts are a little too narrow, so I'm going to fatten them up a little. I'm also going to give them a couple of curls. Another thing I can do is if I choose to, I can do what's called an ombre effect. And you guys know ombre. It's very popular right now. It's going from dark to light or light to dark. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go from light to dark. So I'm going to use my PK2 on the top first of my V. Okay, I'm going to do that on the top. Then I'm going to do my darker one on the bottom, right here. Well, that doesn't look right. That doesn't look darker. And then I'm going to use my middle one to blend it. And then if I blend it, it looks evenly going from darker to lighter or lighter to darker. First created in 2000 BC in China, according to wikipedia.com. And according to George Thompson, it was used in religious writing, maps, novels, all sorts of formal letters, diplomas. And we use it today for other sorts of ornate things, mostly wedding invitations or things like that. So today I showed you how to do some faux calligraphy by showing you the tools that you needed, showing you the supplies you'd need, actually showing you how to do it using cursive, and showed you how to fill it in if you wanted to create an ombre effect. And if you want to learn how to do bounce effect, let me know and I'll show you myself. And I'll actually do your name for you if you want. So when it comes back to knowing about the history of knowing art and lettering, you can see that there's a lot of variations in it.